Hey, what's up, guys and girls? It's me, Emkwan. Hope you guys are well. I'm gonna do my vlogging in the car thing. This is a day after the Apple event, and today I posted up a video on the YouTube Avora TV channel. So youtube.com/Avora TV. I'll link it down below. You can go and check it out and stuff. But I basically shared some of the roundup of the news that came about yesterday. You know, I want to talk because I've got tons of requests to kind of like just share my opinion. You know, in that video I just gave the bare facts, more of a news kind of video. But hey, it was a really interesting, very, very interesting Apple event. To begin with, it was a complete fail when it came to the live streaming. Really, really bad. I think some people just gave up. I mean, I know that we kept trying. It's quite difficult, but yeah, we got it. We got it right at the end, but we were kind of getting snippets in between. That's me and Miss Bila, by the way. But it's interesting. It seems like now there is this culture of leaks, and my gut feeling is that the leaks come from Apple now. I think they are controlled leaks, and I'll tell you why. If you look at all the leaks that we got through, okay, to do with the iPhone 6. We were told that they would come in 2 sizes. We were told what sizes they'd be. Exactly what basically ended up happening. The interesting thing is that we got absolutely nothing, no leaks for the Apple Watch or the iWatch. And you know, that makes me wonder and think that, you know, you can have leaks for basically the iPhone, but you can't have it for the Apple Watch. Now, how did that happen? They must have kept that really, really tight, or it was either controlled leak. So that's an interesting kind of observation I had. But it's interesting, like the iPhone 6, you know, people always ask me, is it worth it? What's different? Essentially, it's a larger iPhone, and your Apple's really pushing the boat out now by giving the iPhone 6 and 6 Plus. So 6 is a 4.7-inch screen, the largest iPhone that they've produced. And then the 6 Plus is even bigger than that. And that's really, I would say, on par with being kind of a phablet stroke, even a tablet, you know, to some extent, that can make phone calls, because that thing is massive. If you imagine the iPad mini, it's almost, you know, part that size. I mean, it's smaller than the iPad mini, but it's almost, you know, a reasonable chunk of that size. So 5.5 inches is not great, and it's not easy in the hands to use. But the thing is that Apple have made it easy in terms of one-handed use. Will I be buying one? Yes, I probably will. I've got an iPhone 5. It's well due an upgrade. Miss Bila got the iPhone 5S this year. I wasn't really wowed by it. When I saw the gold color, I was tempted, but then when I saw it kind of in hand, I wasn't impressed. So I decided to skip that. So this year I'll be getting the iPhone 6, inshallah, God willing. I'm not sure about the 6 Plus. It feels for me like it's just far too big. So I might give the 6 Plus a miss. And I think the 4.7-inch, so I have a HTC One as well that I use. I think that's a reasonable size. I mean, the HTC One for me is one-handed use I still struggle with, but I think with the iPhone 6 that might just be the cut-off point for me. So I'll probably get an iPhone 6. I love the hardware on that. When I saw the leaks, I actually fell in love with the leaks, and I was quietly praying that would be the case. So I'm gonna go for that. Now, interesting, after the Apple iPhone 6 was the Apple Watch. I mean, they spoke about Apple Pay, which is like it's like a payment system, but the Apple Watch was very interesting. If I'm honest with you, based on the leaks and based on the stuff that I'd read a few days before, I kind of had this feeling maybe we might get a teaser of what the Apple Watch will be like. But to actually see a physical kind of like demonstration, they had a physical demo, they had you know, the kind of advert, the promo for it. I was impressed. I think they kept that very well hushed. Now, the Apple Watch is interesting. The Apple Watch is going to be a love or hate situation. I think at the moment, with the price tag, it's very expensive. If you think about smart watches, and if you think about functionality as well, for the mass consumer, it's essentially a completely new product. The other important thing about the Apple Watch is that it will only work with an iPhone, which is completely surprised quite a few people. But then at the same time, it's not surprising. I mean, everybody else is doing that. Samsung's done that. You know, basically the Android Wear sort of class of smart watches have done the same. So it's no surprise that Apple is bringing this for the Apple fans. And yeah, the Apple Watch is interesting. I'm not wowed by it. I'm a traditional watch kind of guy. I'm sporting the Breitling Navitimer here at the moment. I've got a lot of watches. I love all my watches. I love my physical watches. I like my watch to do the time aspect for me and the accessory aspect for me. I don't think personally an Apple Watch will ever replace that. Doesn't matter where it's made, doesn't matter who it's made by, it will still be a smartwatch and therefore a piece of technology. The other interesting thing is this baby will last me a year before I have to get maintenance done on it, or before I have to get a battery done on it. That's not the case with the Apple Watch. The Apple Watch, they were very, very hush about the battery life. And this morning when I woke up, I read about, I think it was somebody from The Verge that commented that they asked one of the Apple executives about the battery life, the supposed battery life, and they were not impressed with the response they got. They basically said that, look, we feel that we've given enough of an answer to deal with the battery life, so, you know, that's a closed book, basically. And that makes me wonder if the battery life is going to be something which will essentially make the Apple Watch a gimmick, because, you know, essentially you've got to, if you have to charge it every day, you know, for a phone you can charge your phone every day. With how can I say it? It's really like a notification device. Imagine a pager. In some ways, charging your pager every day just doesn't seem right. I mean, nobody uses a pager nowadays, but essentially it's a notification tool. Now, if you use the fitness tracker, if you use the other things, I think to charge it daily is going to be quite a chore. I mean, I've got this Fitbit that I use religiously now. I mean, I have to charge this thing up once a week, and even for me, that once a week can be tiresome. There are days when it will just turn off, I won't be bothered charging it, and I'll leave it for a day or two. So the Apple Watch, to charge that daily, that's going to be something. I'm in two minds about that. And I think, personally, the two aspects, the price and also the fact that the Apple Watch battery life is going to be a big decider on whether or not this is going to be a hit product or a flop product, essentially. Now, the other thing is that we know that Android has the smartwatch variety. You've got the Android Wear now. You've got the Moto 360, which looks beautiful. I like the look of the Apple Watch. I don't like the square shape. I understand why they've done that. I like the digital crown. I think the biggest thing for me about the Apple Watch, which stood out, was the OS. That OS looks beautiful. I think it's a really different approach to iOS, or, you know, the mobile version of Apple's operating system. And I think that's something that looked really nice and kind of appealed to me. I really like that. But I think Miss Bila fell in love with that more than I did. So for me, as far as like a purchase is concerned, based off the Apple event 2014, iPhone 6, yes. But here's another issue that I have with the Apple announcement. So we have a 16 gigabyte base model, which comes in at £520, UK pounds. Here it's going to be 2,600 dirhams. I wouldn't purchase it from here because there is no option for the essentially there's no option for FaceTime, and for me, major issue. There's no way I'm gonna, you know, lose out on that. So that's an issue for me. 16 gigabyte, £519. So I'll be buying it from the UK. But the annoying thing is the 64 gigabyte now, there is no 32 gigabyte, is the one that's replaced it. It would have been awesome if the starting, you know, especially with basically memory now being so cheap, it would have been awesome if 32 gigabyte had been the starting point, and then what you do is you have the 64 at a slightly higher markup, even if you wanted, and the 128 there. Now it's like 16 gigabyte, 64 gigabyte. And for me, 64 is just, you know, it's over the top, and 16 gigabyte is just too little. So I'm kind of stuck in between. So that's one of the things that I haven't decided on. Am I going to push it out and go for a 64 gigabyte? I don't know. You know, is it worth the extra cost? Should I just go with a 16 gigabyte and kind of just accept it as it is? I do not know. So that's probably the purchase that I will make, the iPhone 6. And then the Apple Watch is something that will be coming early October. So I think Miss Bila will take that. She'll probably get an Apple Watch. I'm not drawn towards that, to be honest. I'll probably see how it is on her, perhaps try it out. If I like it, then I might get one for myself. But I don't really see myself veering towards that at this stage. But hey, you never know. This is Apple we're talking about. I felt that way about the iPad, and then I was completely surprised. So yeah. Anyway, guys, that's it from me. Let me know what you guys think. Are you going to get any of the products? Do you feel they're overpriced? Do you feel that, you know, you wanted something more? Let me know. Leave a comment down below. And hopefully I'll see you in the next video. Until then, peace and blessings.